Is South Africa going to the dogs again? Apparently not. This Work Life Matters season shares informal and candid chats with some of SA's youngest startup businessmen and women with an understanding of our past and a passion for our future. Our guests draw from Mzansi as an inspiration to grow personally as a brand and individuals, fusing international ideas into a truly South African model, sized to fit our people, economy and future. Today's episode, we have Cassidy Nicolson, who is an online content creator. Looking forward to it. Cassidy Nicolson, right?
Hi, yes.
Good to see you, friend. I know you very well.
Yes, I know you very well.
Content creator. Would you call yourself an influencer as well?
Impactor.
Impactor, yes. I call myself an innovator.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. A girl named Cassidy.
Yes.
So you created content, meeting people, like very proudly South African. You get a lot of content from just being South African, and you're very proudly South African.
Yes.
A lot of people say our country's going through the dogs. What are your views on that particular topic? What are your views? Because let's be honest, we cannot lie and say things are hunky-dory.
No, of course not.
Yes? What are your views?
Well, I actually made a video about it recently. I think people who love talking about, like, our country's going to the dogs aren't really the ones who are doing anything about it. If you see something, say something, you know, all that nonsense that we've heard before. I think everyone's got their own problems, and it's ignorant to think that we're not going to have problems. Yep. And so if you want to see a difference, you've got to make a difference. And it's always going to be a little bit cringe in the beginning if you're that one person doing something, you know, against the grain, or if you're trying to actually solve a problem, because people love to solve problems. What's it? Problem involve, not problem solve. So I think, yeah, we've got our own shit. I don't know if I can say
Yeah, you can say what you want.
We've got our own shit, but I think that it's important to talk about it and to do something about it. So I'm super proudly South African. I'm super proud to be South African. And I'm doing something in the way in which I can control. I'm trying to have important conversations, and I'm trying to make people laugh while we do it, because I think that comedians also have the best way to deal with it. I think I answered your question.
Yeah, but let's be truthfully honest. All the negativity definitely helps create content. Like,
100%.
It's like sometimes I miss seeing Parliament going, this is content. I'm sure it's like a goldmine for you.
Yes, it is. I thrive, and I've more often than not been messaged like, this is tone deaf. How can you talk about this? You know, you're making a joke out of the whole situation. And I'm like, okay, but are we not talking about it? Is this not what we're supposed to be doing? Like, why is everyone so obsessed with being palatable?
Yeah. It's overrated.
It's the worst. I miss the people who challenge the status quo. I miss the people that, you know, did things differently and made people shocked. Like, you don't need to go above and beyond to have shock value. You just need to actually voice your opinion.
What could you say to people who left the country? Because for me, I'm all about, if you've left the country, cool. Like, it's fine. Create the opportunity. If you feel like you have 5 daughters and you feel like they're safe in another country, I agree, I get it.
Cool.
But don't go there and badmouth our country. Like, for me, like, if it's the same as if we've broken up.
Yeah.
Don't go to another couple and then tell them on my business. Like, Seth leaves his underwear hanging on the door every single night. Don't tell people that.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say to expats?
Stay there. Just stay there. You chose to leave. So leave. Like, just honestly, it grinds my gears. And I've had this conversation online before. You so badly want to talk about all the shit that's wrong with our country, but you fucked off, you left. So stay gone. We don't need you. And it's, again, you think everything is greener. You think the grass is greener. Everything's better there. But you still have nothing to talk about except for how shit South Africa is. And it's like, you know, when someone goes after your sibling and you're like, listen, I'm the only one that can you know, talk smack about them. You can't. That's not for you. That's how I feel about my country. I know we've got our shit, but we can talk about it because we're here in the trenches with the country.
What do you think about the people who leave because of safety? Safety and their business is affected by ESCOM and like real reasons, like real reasons of safety. You're a woman in this country.
Yeah.
You are safer in a war zone.
Yeah.
As a woman in this country.
That's true.
So just switch it up a bit.
You know, so I might be controversial here and
Go
say,
on.
you know, you give up something, but you start risking something else. I lived overseas, and yes, I could walk, you know, with both my AirPods in at night, and I didn't have to look around. But there were other things at play. There were men assuming that they had complete and utter control over my body when I went out. You know, I don't have that here because I find that there's still a level of respect and culture when like South Africans are lekker people, you know. You didn't have that overseas. People were incredibly rude to me. They, you know, they didn't want to make eye contact or even engage in conversation if they didn't know me and stuff. So there was a quality of life that was hindered. But yes, I could walk around with both my earphones in at night. And so I understand that there are actual things at play, and that's cool. But there's still something else that you're going to have to, you know, give away, sacrifice, if I may.
What do you think about, speaking to South Africans, about voting who are overseas? Like
That's great. Do it.
The ones who left, and there's possibilities for them to be able to get involved in the country and actually vote and make a difference in the country.
I think we would see a very high percentage of people do that. I actually think we'd see a higher percentage of people who are expats voting than people in this country, if I'm being honest with you.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to content creation.
Okay, cool.
Content creation, how to deal with the trolls, because for me, I love them. If you don't know what a troll is, it's just a person who's just bored and they just want to attack.
A keyboard warrior.
Like for me, it's the World Cup right now. I even find people starting to troll, like trolling each other because of people's selection.
Oh God, I know.
What? Like,
Yeah.
so only South Africans can make the selection for rugby team racial. Like, it's just, it gets racial. It becomes so weird about it. How do you deal with trolls? Because for me, obviously, you're a white South African, and you might say things that other white South Africans are like, oh no, what is she saying? Or vice versa.
Yeah.
For me, if you're not offending someone, you're not doing anything with your life. If everyone loves you, you're doing nothing with your life. That's what I live by. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah.
How do you deal with trolls? Because for me, especially if you're talking about political stuff and state of the country.
So just to start, I want to clarify. Yeah. So I'm not actually white. I'm white passing, but I'm actually coloured. So I actually, So I grew up coloured. I grew up in Bonteheuwel. My father's coloured.
What?
I was raised as a coloured woman.
You coloured?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
When I was born like this.
You coloured?
Yeah.
I didn't know you coloured.
You wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, coloured men are like, no, you can see she's coloured. You can see.
Yeah. I thought you were Jewish.
That's another one.
I thought you.
I get Mexican and Jewish all the time.
Wow, so you coloured?
Yeah.
Nicholson.
Nicholson, yeah.
Nicholson, is that a colour name?
It is.
Okay, so you grew in Bonteheuwel.
So I grew up in Bonteheuwel, and
So you what is it called? You're white passing. In apartheid, that would have been great.
No, that was.
You would have been like, yes,
won the lottery.
And now you're like, damn, there goes a PE tender.
Oh, well, I still circle other.
Oh,
so
is it?
I still, like, if you don't see me, you're like, oh, okay, university application. Yeah,
Okay, that's another topic. So in other words, you are white passing, but you're actually coloured.
Yes.
But you look white, so
Yes.
what do people do about the content that you...
So I have a very open and honest conversation with people. I think people go about it like they want so badly to be coloured. And like I can do the coloured accent, I can whip it out and whatever, but it'll be taken out of context. Unless you know me, and then you'll be like, okay, that's fine. She can do that. If you don't know me, you're like, oh, this bitch is punching down.
Cancelling.
Yeah, exactly. So I just, I'm always PG a little bit when it comes to that type of stuff because I know people are very sensitive. But yeah, it's a wild time.
I've known you for so long. I never knew that you're coloured.
I know.
So actually, my grandfather, his nickname was Witboy.
Yeah.
Black man, but actually looked coloured. So he spoke the Queen's English.
Oh, yeah.
His surname is Ngesi, which means English.
Yes.
And he passed as a coloured person, which during apartheid was perfect for him.
Yeah.
So then, how do you deal with the trolls? Because that must give you another level of trolls.
So it's a wild one. I love a troll because I think
too.
a lot of the time trolls are just ignorant people, and I'm coming from a place as a content creator, so I'm like, yes, engagement, yes, we love this. So I sit and have conversations. I will use that opportunity to educate, and I'll ask them questions. Not only does it help my engagement, but also a lot of the time they'll be grateful to you. I mean, I remember I made a comment about George Floyd in the beginning of lockdown, when it happened, and someone was like, "This is so tone deaf. Why would you do this?" And so I, took a moment, I took a breath, because a lot of the time it's not about you, it's about them, and I asked them, "Okay, what's the issue here? I haven't said anything wrong. If anything, I've been very respectful to him, but I've just brought up his name in this piece of content." And it's like, and come the end of it, I was like, he started a conversation. And are we not conversing and talking about it right now?
But I can understand why they're going, no, a song doesn't make people kill, but I can see both sides. How do you stay, in this country? Because it's not easy here.
It's really not. I think in order to remain in that place, you need to be willing to be wrong. And I'm fine with being wrong. And I think a lot of people, when they start, saying something and they have that confirmation bias, or they have that bias or whatever, then they get so like, oh no, that's not what I meant. There are going to be things where I'm a little bit more biased. I mean, women's issues and, being a person of color who's white passing. I hear a lot of the slurs that people say behind closed doors. And I think it's just you need to just be okay with being wrong. And to voice your opinion, and then to say, okay, cool, fine, educate me. And when you're okay with being educated, when you're okay with being wrong, then you're able to say, okay, cool, I'm not going to make that mistake again, because I actually was a little bit too emotional with this topic, or I was a little bit too passionate. And then you're able to take a step back and say, okay, cool, now I can play devil's advocate.
I think, for me, I wish we had the internet, but we had the internet many years ago, where it was okay to have different opinions.
100%.
Because now I do the same thing. If I debate with my best friend, I know that I can find on the internet people who agree with me.
Yes.
What? What does the world is flat?
Yeah.
Send. The world is flat.
Yeah. Look at this article.
Okay, this is gonna sound like a weird thing, but my best friend and I had an argument about. I was like, I don't mind hair on women.
Yeah.
She's like, no, you're lying. I was like, I don't like hair on me.
Yes.
I hate hair on me.
Yeah.
So I found screen grabs of women with hairy bodies.
Yes.
And I was like, look how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful this is. What are you? Look at this. Look at this. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I think the time, I'm trying to be more wrong.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn to be more wrong. But the problem is, if you don't come at me correctly in our debate, doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah.
I'm still going to, because you're not being respectful.
Yes.
So there's a lot of topics online that I'm like, I see two people arguing and I'm like, wait a minute. You both have points, but this conversation lacks respect.
Yes.
Absolutely lacks respect. And how has it been in a world of content creation where everyone can find a reason to find you wrong?
It's...
the more I look at you, the more you're looking colored now. I'm like the internet now. I'm like, she is colored.
I'm actually having this conversation right now online, because all of the Americans are in my DMs telling me how disrespectful I am because I use the word colored. And I'm like, oh God, like we've been educated. Every 2 to 3 business days, we educate you guys. And some people just want to argue and they don't want to listen. And so, I mean, my mom always said it. It's like talking to a drunk person or a stupid person. They have no intention of letting you speak your piece. They just want to tell you that you're wrong. So I think you also need to be able to be smart enough and say, Ish, no one's going to win this conversation.
All right.
Yeah.
Listen, it's been great chatting to you.
It's been great chatting to you.
I've learned one very important fact about you is that you're not white. And I see you quite often, so that's quite interesting. To anyone listening, I'm a passionate South African, another passionate South African creating content. Super keen to do some collaborations about getting stuff out there so people can see, registering to vote, chatting about different things. So, yeah, man, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Goodbye. Great combo.
Yes.
Thank you.